Hey everyone, this is Anthony, not cool in high school. So originally, this was going to be an Interviews with Everyday People episode, but then we started talking, because I get a lot of interviews and a lot of bookings, and we started talking about what this episode is going to be about. So I was like, this would be a fantastic way to have a solo interview just for Not Cool in High School. We can get it out sooner. And we could really help out this awesome Kickstarter that's going on, because by the time it would get on interviews, it would be forever now. So we have on the phone.
Yeah, it would be over.
Yeah, it'd be completely over. So we definitely want to get some attention to this. So that I have on the phone is Jason Seaux, and he is the artist.
Seaux.
Yep, the head artist or the lead artist for a comic called Necro-Man.
What's up, man?
Yeah,
up?
Awesome. So, tell us a little bit about Necro-Man. We'll start at that starting point and kind of branch off from there.
Absolutely. Necro-Man's sort of like a campy superhero, if you will. Think about Superman if he was dead and a zombie, dude. So essentially, he wants to eat some brains, and he's kind of struggling with who he used to be before he's now some sort of zombie superhero, if you will. That's basically it in a nutshell.
So he was a superhero, then died and came back as a zombie?
Absolutely, he was. I'll send you a link to issue 1. You can put that on your page. Everybody can read issue 1 for free and issue 2 for free, just to see where we're at and what we're talking about.
Cool.
But yeah, basically a superhero. He's kind of a prick and really egotistical. His name's the Blue Wonder. And he's sort of a throwback to that whole 1950s era, 60s era, like the Phantom. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those old school bodysuit noir and a mask on their face kind of a deal. Anyway, he's kind of a prick. So we ended up killing him off in a fantastic way. And part of that process is when he comes back, he's basically a zombie. So he gets reanimated.
Nice.
I don't want to give away the true plot driver.
Yeah.
All you fans are going to have to read it. Again, I'll send it to you for free. You'll see exactly how it all goes down. It's pretty great. We introduce his nemesis, Dr. H, which is just a good time.
Yeah, I'm looking at the art a little bit. Kind of has like I guess with a zombie look to it. Like my first take at it, it's like a mix between like Hulk zombie meets Swamp Thing, with really cool hair.
Kind of. Well, hold on. I'm a huge Bernie Wrightson fan, so the Swamp Thing might be like Bernie Wrightson's influence on me, because Wrightson was an amazing Swamp Thing artist. It's basically like that, if you will, really just grainy, detailed, gritty, dark kind of deal.
It looks really cool, man. And this comic is out of Pennsylvania here, so I mean it is tagged on a Kickstarter for being in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. So this is literally right in our backyard of a comic book. That's it's in our area. It's really cool to even so if you're not only supporting a comic book, if you're a comic book fan, but you're supporting a local comic book. They do have a Kickstarter going. Yep, all local stuff. So that's super important to us here on the show. So the biggest thing here is that there is a Kickstarter to this. So if you we will link the Kickstarter on the below. So they currently have just about under $580 out of $800 goal. Now, what can you get with your Kickstarter? So we're looking at the thing here. So $1 pledge just gets you, just
a thank you
from Paranoia Comics. $3 pledge gets you the first 3 issues digital. So he's giving you the first 2. So even if you go and you throw your $3 over there, be a good person if you read them. If you take time out to read it and you enjoy it, go give a $3 pledge. A $5 pledge will get you a physical copy of issue 3 and the other 3 issues 1 through 3 digital. $10 pledge will get you issues 2 and 3 physical, as well as the 3 issues digital as well. $25 will get you a beanie of the Necro beanie, physical copies of 2 and 3, and the digital issues of 1 through 3. $30 pledge will get you Necro-Man First Appearance physical copy, let's see what else, as well as the 3 digitals. And I'm trying to see here. That's pretty much it. Oh, and a publisher's note. Okay, all right, so that's what it is. $35 will get you issues 2 and 3 and a Necro t-shirt, as well as the 3 digital copies. And then a $40 pledge will get you the physical copies of 1 through 3 and a variant cover done by artist Ken Hunt. And then there's a 40, and it goes on and on and on. But I just want to give you a little bit of idea.
It really does.
Yeah, what's all there. So a lot of really cool stuff. So he's going to hook you up for
so much stuff.
Yeah, he's going to hook you up with the first 2 issues digital for our podcast. But go over to that page and definitely help them out. Now, where did you guys come up with this comic idea? How did you meet these guys? How did you get involved in this?
Oh, well, I met these guys at a comic book convention. I think it was their second or third one, called Paranoia Con. Mm-hmm. I had met an artist named Ron Good who does god awful comics, and I met him at an art show that we were both artists at, called Kaplow, and that was at the Metropolis Art Collective in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. So I met Ron. Ron was like, "Your work is great. Do you want to do some comics with me?" And I hadn't done comics. I just love to draw. And Ron showed me basically how it's done. How do you take your art, break it down, put it in a book format, and get it to the people. While I was doing that, I met them I met Mark, Seaux, and Grogan at Paranoia Con, and they liked my work, and they were like, "Hey, what do you think of this character?" And it was Necro-Man, and I'd seen the first 2 issues or 3 issues of the first incarnation of Necro-Man. And I think that was 2015 or something like that. And the art, they just wanted to upgrade the story, upgrade the art a little bit because they really liked the character. So they had talked to me about drawing it, and I drew a few things for them, and they're like, "Yeah, man, let's sign this guy to a contract so he'll do 4 issues for us."
Awesome. So you're currently on for 4 issues. Are you looking at more stuff in the future?
Oh yeah, those guys are on my ass. We've done pretty well with Necro-Man, and I say that in a loving way. Mark is a brother to me, but Mark wants me to basically renew my contract with him to keep going because we've had some success with Necro-Man so far. It's opened a lot of doors for us. So, Mark, now that Mark has somebody that him and I work really well together. He's a very good writer. And we work the old Stan Lee, Jack Kirby way, like the Marvel way, mm-hmm. where him and I will just blast out some ideas together. I'll basically put it down on paper, and then Mark will double back and skip our script. So we'll have our plots together. I'll go ahead and pencil and ink and do the art for it, and then I send it back to Mark for him to final script it. And we work really well that way. I mean, we kick ass together. So they want to extend, obviously.
Yeah. Looking at the art, man, you have a really cool art style, man. I really, really dig it. I
appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate
a lot of his art is on his Facebook page. If you head over, I'll have the link there as well. A lot of cool stuff. I have to send the picture of your tick over to Steve. Steve on the show will love it.
I have an artist profile page on Facebook. I'll send you that link because people, there's 2 me's, if you will. There's the artist that you'll see, but my personal page is more personal, where it's more opinion based than here's my art. This is the product.
The art of Jason. You can get. Yep, cool. And you can buy original art off him. You can buy his original art off him.
Yeah, I just opened that store a few days ago. I'm not sure exactly if I'm doing it right because it's really frustrating to set that thing up. You don't understand how frustrated I fucked it up so many times. My poor fiance was like, "Honey, let me help you," and she whipped it out real quick and helped me out. But anyway, that I just opened that, and I needed to give fans an avenue to get prints and get original art and stuff like that.
Now, who are some of your favorite comic book characters that your go-tos?
Like, what do I like to read? Or because being under contract, really, I have to draw Necro-Man. I have to produce. So when you see those one-offs, that's just me venting, if you will, artistically.
Yeah.
But, are you asking what books I like to read?
Yeah. Who are some of your favorite characters?
Well, I just finished The Saint of All Killers by Garth Ennis, and Steve did issues 1 and 2, and then another artist filled in. But anyway, it's a 4-issue limited series, and that's a part of the Preacher series from Vertigo. So I really love that one. Hey, Caitlin. I really enjoyed that series, and then I bought Spawn trade paperbacks 1 through 4. So I have, I think, issues 1 through 30 or something like that. So I just restarted like reading that again.
Yeah, I took a huge break from reading, and I have to get back into it because I've been super lazy. My
break was like years, man. Like I don't know any of the shit anybody's talking about, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
like I don't know
changes.
anything about. Yeah, I don't know anything about. Like I just found out like they're pushing to make the new Iron Man since Tony Stark died. I just found out they're looking to change it into.
You're talking about when they were going to change the character to like a black girl? Oh, I think we're losing them here. Connection issues.
No, I just found that stuff out,
Oh, yeah, we lost you for a second there. Yeah, we lost you for a second. You were saying Iron Man, and then it cut out.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, well, they're just, they're reformatting Iron Man, and I didn't know any of that stuff.
Yeah, they were. I was reading that I didn't read the actual comic, but they're turning him into a little black girl's taking over Iron Man, or a black character.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, a little black girl.
Yeah, and then
a young preteen or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And Hulk is being taken over by an Asian dude. I was reading something.
Oh yeah, I think that's Cho
Cho
or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was reading a lot of the New 52 and then taking on to the Rebirth Batman, and then I was pretty deep into that, and then I took a break. My Batman's probably my go-to.
You know what I like to do, man? I just bought because my fiance and I bought the DC movie of The Killing Joke.
Okay. Yeah.
So I just bought the hardcover trade on one of Comics World sales. Like, they have auctions every Tuesday and Saturday or something like that. And I love those guys, so that's a shameless plug. But I bought the hardcover for The Killing Joke, and it was absolutely freaking amazing,
The animated movie was fantastic. If you just rewind the first 45 minutes of it, the whole Batgirl Batman love thing that wasn't even in the book, but they added to the anime.
Yeah,
and then it gets into The Killing Joke, and then it's really good.
So I sort of like sniper like the books in the series that I want to read. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to be up to date. I'm not trying to be up to date with X-Men. No offense to X-Men. I hear it's a great story, but I'm just not up to date with it. I'm not. Yeah. I don't know. I try not to be up to date on anything or I try to be as up to date as possible on things. But I have books, that I haven't even read that I'm quote up to date on, like the Green Lantern series. I have like all those like the new run with Liam Sharp as the artist. I have like the whole new run of that. I just haven't had the time to read it.
Yeah. Who are some of your favorite artists that you like to when you read a book, do you look by character, or being an artist yourself, do you kind of like, oh, this guy's taking over this book, I'm really excited? Who are some artists that jump off the list that you like to follow?
Well, I think as people grow, their tastes change. So when I first started out, it was John Byrne and his early X-Men stuff. That guy was freaking amazing. And then Todd McFarlane just changed my whole outlook on comics. And then Jim Lee. So Jim really is phenomenal. He's a freaking god. But I'll look for, like, let's say Greg Capullo. I love his stuff, so I'll look for him, or I'll look for Todd McFarlane, or I'll look. I love Michael Turner. His work was phenomenal, especially his earlier Witchblade stuff. So those kind of artists, I'd say, those flashy image kind of in your face kind of people.
Nice, cool.
But my current, I think. Again, as my tastes change, I'm a really big fan of Mike Hawthorne, who's also a local artist, and he's done Spider-Man and The Incredible Hulk, and I forget what book he's on now, but he's absolutely amazing when it comes to just nailing every position and muscle structure. He's so fundamentally sound. He's amazing. He does everything right. So Mike Hawthorne is the guy you want to check out currently.
And you said he's local?
I think he's in New York. He draws for Marvel. I forget what book he's on now. Check him out. He's like the most decorated Deadpool artist ever.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
I really follow him a lot because he's, like I said, he's got a really good, clean style.
I'm trying to find the artist who did my buddy's shirt. Maybe if I click on the shirt, they have it in the description of who drew it. If not, then I'm shit out of luck here.
Yeah. No worries.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's who I like. But back in the day, I loved Bernie Wrightson just because of the way he did coloring or the way he did his shading and his
Yeah.
pen techniques and stuff like that. He's just amazing.
Maybe it's on Andy's page. Yeah, I'm trying to surf as I'm finding it. Yeah, I'm into. I mean, I like all that stuff. I try to draw, but I'm not very good. I do like the bare minimum, but like when people do muscle structure and stuff, it's so, I don't know, it blows me away.
Oh, it's so easy, man. It's like, playing the guitar or the piano. Once you understand it, you understand it. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
essentially, I'll start with a stick figure, right? Like what you would consider a wire frame of the body. Let's say there's a bullshit pose that I'm struggling on. I'll break it down to the wire frame and then add the structures to it where, where the rib cage sits and the hips. So you'll build your muscle structure, and then you add your bone structure, then you add your muscle structure to that.
Yeah. I always do the, like, the body looks really good, and then the head's too little. Like, I can't get everything, like, proportioned.
That's where rulers come in handy, man. Like, I recently adapted a ruler, and I try to use it in all of my all my work because it just makes you a better artist whenever you hit the scale, if you will, and put everything in. Putting everything in proportion is huge. Like the Evil Bong piece that I just did for shits and giggles, I absolutely use perspective on that to do the pipes and the smoke and everything else like that. So I use that a lot more now.
Nice. Awesome. So what was that moment where you're like, at what age where you're like, man, being an artist is what I want to be or what I want to do? When you started taking it real serious?
Well, I didn't really start taking it serious until I sobered up. Before then, I was just a train wreck of an individual who was struggling with addiction for a very long time, So essentially, I wasted 15 years of my life pursuing being a drinker,
Yeah.
So I didn't really start taking art seriously probably until about 4 years ago. That Kablam art show at the Metropolis Collective absolutely changed my life, and I've never looked back from there.
Yeah. So,
Hannah, I just talked to Hannah Dobrik because that memory popped up on my Facebook feed, and I sent her a little "I love you" message. Hannah and Richard are a couple that run the Metropolis Collective together, and essentially that woman changed my life forever when it comes to the professional manner. Just giving me an avenue to be brave and put myself out there, which takes courage.
Yeah, I have a really hard time getting to cons, so I do miss out a lot of those cons and get to see a lot of really cool stuff. What are some ones in the area? Like where's the one you're talking about? Where's that one located out of?
Okay, well, mainly I say my favorite cons. I have a few. The comics world in general, they run two of them, which would be the Four State Comic Con and the Harrisburg Comic Con. I love those two. There's also a Creature Feature Weekend in Gettysburg. That's absolutely one of my favorites as well. So I'll hit basically a little central Pennsylvania circuit, if you will. I don't fly to New York or California. I do the local runs, but I absolutely love Four State Comic Con. And that just got canceled, a month or two ago. So hopefully they'll have Harrisburg Comic Con in September because I like that one as well. It's close to me. I don't have to get a hotel. I can go home. That's probably my most favorite con that I've been to.
The only one I've ever been to was the Steel City Con in Pittsburgh. I'm not like I don't know how, like, maybe I'm really weird with this. Maybe so don't judge me. But I'm not really big into like meeting or paying for a celebrity autograph or standing in line for 6 hours.
That's fucking, it's obnoxious. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have time for that shit. I'm sorry, but my time's, no offense to people who do that, mind you.
The same, agreed.
Right?
Yep.
But I'm not spending 3 hours in line to get you to sign and paying $60 for some autographs, and $100 for an autograph and a photo op. You know?
I'm more of a person, like, if I were to stand in line, I would just go up and be like, hey, thank you for your work, handshake, and leave. Like that, like, you signing a piece of paper isn't changing my life at all. You know what I mean? Like, unless, like, I mean, there is maybe some people that I would debate it, like, I'm a super, super, super fan of, but it's got to be extreme.
All right. Time out. Who would you stand in line for? Now let's just throw the bare bones question out there. If you could stand in line for four hours for somebody alive today,
4 hours.
Anybody.
Ooh.
I know.
Yeah. I would look at the line and I would be like,
anybody.
Yeah, I would have to look at the line and be like, how long? Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'll tell you what one of the big shattering moments for me is when we were at Steel City Con. Once again, being a big Batman fan, Adam West, Julie Newmar, and Burt Ward were all there, and I was like, holy
awesome.
shit, Adam West. And my buddy's like, I'm going to get something autographed. And I was like, how much is it? And he goes, it's $100. And I was like, no chance. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, there's no way I'm doing that. And I'm like, here's what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to stand with you in line. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. And I'm going to live through your experience and just be there and say I was this close to Adam West. And he's Adam West. He's like, all right, because it wasn't that big of a room, so the lines weren't insane. So we stand in line, and he walks up and he has a toy. And he's like, can I have him sign the toy instead of the headshot? And he goes, well, if you want him to sign the toy, it's an additional $100. And the guy's like, well, I'm not doing that. And he goes, like, well, all right, headshot it is.
Wait, $200?
Yeah, because he wasn't signing the headshot.
200.
Yeah, he wanted additional money to sign something else that was besides the headshot.
Wow.
Yeah. So then he's like, well, I can't afford that, so I'll just get the headshot done. So literally the whole time we're talking, it's through the handler. So the handler says, what's your name? And he says, his name. So he hands him the paper. Adam West then writes his name, hands it back to the handler. Handler hands it to him, and he goes, thank you, Mr. West. And he goes, all right, now move it along. Like, the handler was like, move it along. Like, Adam West never even looked up at us, never even acknowledged that he was there, never made eye contact, never said, hello, how are you? Like, I was just standing in line to hear his voice, because he has a very iconic voice. Nothing.
He does.
Yeah, and then, like, next table over, Burt Ward looks like he's, like, knocking on death's door, and he's every single person, he's, like, standing up, shaking your hand, telling you to come around the table so he can take a picture with you and stuff. And Adam West was just like, nope, not doing any of that.
Well, some people are in it for other, maybe perhaps the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
General.
The two coolest dudes there were Tom Savini, huge Tom Savini fan, plus, Dawn of the Dead's one of my favorite movies, and we were in Pittsburgh right outside of Monroeville. And the only reason we did the next one...
Did Tom Savini also do Lost Boys?
Yes, he did a lot of the special effects for Lost Boys, Friday the 13th,
yeah, man.
Dusk Till Dawn. He has like a huge art makeup studio that he runs too. If you're a wrestling fan, he just did the mask for Bray Wyatt's The Fiend character.
I don't watch any wrestling.
Yeah, well, he did the mask for. He does a lot of special effects, makeup and stuff, and masks and everything. But
very cool.
Yeah, so we're standing there, and Heidi's like, "Oh my god!" Because my wife, she's into all that stuff. She'll stand in lines all. She's more into horror movies than she's anything else. But she sees she looks over and sees Ralph Macchio, and no one's at his table. Just he's literally standing there by himself. So I was like, "All right, we'll go over and talk to Ralph Macchio." And he was cool as hell. He was like, I didn't have to stand in line or anything, so it was nice. But I mean, I more or less went to the cons, and I was locked onto the art section where people got to make and create and draw stuff. I thought that was the coolest part of the convention.
I always have freebies, man. Like, I just want to get my art in people's hands. So I usually have, like, when I do appearances, like, for instance, I'll have a 4-state exclusive print that's free, or a Harrisburg exclusive, or a Creature Feature Weekend exclusive print that I just give out. It's just a black and white copy of my line art, and I'll give my autograph away. I just want you to have my art and look at it.
Get the brand out there.
Maybe I'll see you. Yeah, maybe I'll see you again. Maybe you'll want to see more of my work and find me. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the best way to go about it. Like, even with our merch page, I try to keep our prices super, super low, because I'd rather have people buy it at a lower price and get it out there than make money off it. I make just as much to cover the cost of the shirt.
The thing about and what there's a few ways to go about this. Like, when you're doing anything like comic books related, or where you're pressing things in a way, your money's in the analytics of it all. Seldom are you going to get rich quick. There's no, like, scheme out there just to, like, rob society, be a freaking millionaire. You want that money, you want that stuff that comes with it. You're going to have to work for it, and that's done day by day, book by book, piece by piece. Like, that's just the way it works. All these people that are experienced. Yeah, this seldom is shit handed to you. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have to bust your ass and work for it. So
yeah,
when you lower the price point, you're bringing more people in, which is always, always a good thing, because I'd rather make $1, like hypothetically, per book and sell more books in general than make $2 and not sell as many books, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
my money is in analytics. Like, I'm talking long term.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at some of your art here too. So you're definitely inspired, obviously, by comic books. So I see, like, Loki and Joker, Wolverine, and then you do have some horror movie art. I see, like, a Jason Voorhees.
That
Some video game stuff. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm a huge horror fan.
Nice.
I'm a huge horror fan. I'm a pop culture fan. How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty much what our podcast is. We just cover all pop culture. We don't cover just one thing. So we dive into a little bit of everything. Video games, comic books, movies, television, stuff like that.
It's kind of lame being in a box, man, and my mind, like, works in a different manner, so I like to be outside of that box, so we can talk about everything.
Yeah, and even with the name of the show, I went with Not Cool in High School, because I figured there's so many, like, you're a nerd podcast. Like, I'm so sick of that term, because I didn't want to be a nerd then, and I don't want to be a nerd now. It's just funny that the stuff that I'm into now is actually mainstream and people like it. If I went around in 7th grade and wore a T-shirt with Batman on it, they're like, dude, what are you a kindergartner wearing superheroes in your T-shirt still? Like, grow up. You know what I mean? You get picked on for it, and now it's, like, popular.
Well, that whole culture, I always loved comics, so I always drew comics, and I really didn't give a shit. I guess I probably wasn't overly cool, but I was cool enough that I wasn't shunned or anything horrible like that.
I see your one drawing here, and it's hilarious, because I watched this movie, and then I just made my wife watch it the other day. Brightburn.
Which one is it?
The Brightburn.
Oh, yes!
Such a good movie.
Listen, that is the most underrated horror hero movie in eternity. That is such a good movie, and it hits so many awesome points. If any of your listeners haven't seen that movie, watch Brightburn. It'll change everything.
So Brightburn is pretty much a complete burn, or a take from it's the Superman comics.
Superman.
Superman comes down.
It absolutely is.
Except this kid doesn't want to be good, and he's kind of brainwashed.
He's not good.
Yeah,
he's bad. He
and
wants
who's
to take
gonna
over
stop
the world.
him?
Nobody.
Yep,
nobody.
nobody.
The little. No, he's a little bastard at his age. The horror gags in Brightburn are phenomenal. So they directly go against Superman. All those bright points in Superman where he has the hearts to hearts or whatever it is, all those things, it's completely against what actually happens.
And it's super gory, and you don't see it coming.
It's super gory.
Yeah.
I think the first horror gag in that restaurant with the waitress is, I still cringe at that. That's just one of those gags that you're never really going to get over.
Yep.
And when I say gag, obviously I'm referring to in horror movies when they trigger like a gruesome scene. It's basically a gag.
Yeah. Yeah, that spot, you're like, ooh, that kind of gets you going there. Yeah, I love it, man.
Yeah.
What are some art pieces that you've always wanted to do, just never had a chance to tackle it yet, when it comes to like a video game or horror movie or anything like that?
That shit changes absolutely every day. I want to draw everything. So I'd say I did a Freddy Krueger piece, and that was actually for Creature Feature Weekend. I didn't really color it. I didn't do anything. It was just a quick off the hip kind of a deal. So I've drawn Freddy Krueger. I don't really want to draw Michael Myers. Like, no offense to Michael Myers. Maybe Leatherface, but like the old school 1970s Leatherface.
Mm-hmm. I was a huge Michael Myers fan growing up, and then as I got older, I was like, and I went back and watched the movies. I'm like, these movies suck. Like, people sit there and cry about Rob Zombie rebooting it, but if you watch the original horror, like the trilogy or whatever you want to call it, all of the Halloweens before it was even touched by Rob Zombie. That movie was rebooted like 6 times, but they just kept the same number pattern to it. Like a character who died in part 4 was back and never explained in part 5, and then everything that happened in part 5 changed.
Can we talk about the absolute epic failure that was Halloween 3? Like, I can't even talk to you about that movie because it sucked so horribly bad. Like, that's
I thought it was a good movie, but it's just not a Michael Myers movie.
It wasn't. It was a weirdo mask conspiracy. Like I get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
That I've never really been a Halloween fan. I was always a Friday the 13th fan because I always thought those the gruesome gags were just so much more over the top.
Mm-hmm. And I loved Freddy, but then like when Freddy got rebooted, everyone's like, "Oh, this is the worst." I was like, "I kind of like the reboot," and they're like, "What do you mean? How can you like that?" I was like, "Because they made him scary again." I said, as a kid, I'm watching Freddy terrorize kids, and I'm laughing, and I'm cheering. I'm on Team Freddy, like, kill these kids, yay! You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think part of it when you were younger is to see how they would kill these people. So you would have a certain number of deaths that you knew were coming at you, and they all followed the same equation where, at least the girl was going to live or something like that. So if you took like 10 possible deaths, half the fun was seeing how they were going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, one of my favorite, me and my wife's favorite horror movies of all time is Scream, because the first time you ever watched that movie, you had no idea where they were going with it.
No, it was so well done. It was like it's almost like a pre-troll movie where they were just kind of making fun of themselves but still having fun with it.
Yeah. It's one of those movies that I always try to tell people, if it's your first time ever watching a movie or someone who's younger, I'm like, "Oh, you have to watch Scream."
I don't know if I've had my son watch that yet. I should though.
Cool. I think I got Andy and finally messaged me back.
Tell him I love his comic book themed wrestling.
I'm trying to say, what's the guy's names who did the art? So maybe you know them.
Oh, I know a crap ton of artists. That's just the way it goes, I wouldn't doubt if I did know him in some capacity.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
because it seems like a huge world, but when you zero down and
you
find out
like that
who exactly are, you do, and it becomes a small little circuit, a small little world, if you will.
Yeah. Nice. Now, so we'll jump into video games here. I see you do like Mortal Kombat and stuff. What are some games you like to play? We'll keep with the pop culture references.
I just finished up like The Witcher, not the expansion pack, like the regular game.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I'm into Spider-Man. Now, I'm not the kind of guy that likes to jump games, so call me single-minded. And I also have a PlayStation 4 Slim. So it's not like I can throw 20 games on the sucker.
Mm-hmm.
What I have to do is basically play through.
Yeah.
So right now I'm on Spider-Man, and then I'm about to jump on Fallout. I love the entire Fallout series. I love the Skyrim series,
nice.
The Witcher series. I used to love zombies, but I played it so much, like now I don't like it. You know what I mean? It's just too... Yeah, well, I mean, zombies are zombies. You're shooting zombies in the face, and that's all it'll ever be. I just need more from a game. That's all.
Yeah. Are you a old school walking zombie fan, or do you like when they run?
Oh, I hate when they run because they're a lot more frightening, but I love when they run because they're a lot more frightening, if that makes any sense.
You're like, it's a love-hate thing.
Yeah, dude, walkers are walkers. Like, that's not frightening. I'll run away from them. But throw a zombie that's screaming and he's bleeding out of all his holes and he just wants to eat your fucking face. Like, that's scary.
And he doesn't get fatigued. He can run and run and
not
run
at all.
and run and run.
Exactly, and he will sacrifice his body just to get to you. That's a scary zombie.
Yeah. That's...
So what was it? Was it Red Dead Redemption where they did the zombie edition?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yep. Undead Nightmare.
Okay. Now, they had runners in there.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it was a mix. I think it mixed. Some of them walked and some of them ran. It was kind of like they kind of gave you a mixed bag.
Which is perfect.
Yeah.
Which is perfect. Like, that's, to me, that's the whole zombie pandemic or whatever that would be, epidemic, whatever. If zombies, ever took over the world, you'd probably get a mix of them.
Yeah.
You know?
My favorite part about that is the first time I ever played that game, and the very first time you come across a zombie and he tackles a lady in the street, he starts munching on her, and then he gets up and starts coming at you, and you're like, okay, and you shoot him, but if you stay there long enough, the lady he bit will stand up and reanimate and turn into a zombie. So like, just the fact that
Very
was
cool.
that in the guy's like, oh, that's pretty. Like, you go watch someone get hit, and then they will reanimate into a zombie again. Like, I was like, that is super cool. And I believe if you shot and killed,
come at you.
yeah, if you shot and killed a regular NPC by a body shot, and they bled out, they would reanimate and come back because you didn't damage the head. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but I think that was something else that was in the game that I thought was pretty fun too.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish
Very cool.
I would love a giant. I mean, I know they have it right now with that Days Gone, but I heard a lot of people didn't like it, so I have to still give it a shot. But that one for PlayStation, that Days Gone, where all the zombies run and you're a guy in a motorcycle.
Oh, I've seen the things for it. That looks pretty decent. But again, you know, like recently, I loved The Witcher. The Witcher, probably spent about 3 months just going
It's a
through it.
massive
You know,
game.
like piece. It really is, and I like that. I like that open world feel, you know, of all of that. I'm really excited about. I think it's the Cyberpunk game.
Yep, Cyberpunk 2077.
That'll be coming out. Yeah, because I like the studio. I like how they do stuff. You know, I think it's a great deal. The Witcher was just such an amazing game that it sort of spoiled me on a lot of other stuff because it was everything that I wanted. You had combat, you had women, you had like, you know, mythological creatures that you couldn't just run up, and it wasn't just a smash and grab kind of a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Spider.
I have to go back and play it though. But I did start the Spider-Man game, but I had to stop playing it because it was frustrating me.
Oh, it frustrated the dog shit out of me for the first like 3 months. I would like scream at it and be like, "Oh my God, Spider-Man, you suck." No, that was just me. Once I got the mechanics of it, it's hard to like put it down now. The fighting gets a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
But it's Spider-Man, you know. It's extremely fast action when it comes to the fighting.
I just feel like like I'm getting beat up by goons, and I'm fucking Spider-Man, and I should be destroying these guys.
Well, the secret is building your webs and building your gadgets, if you will, like upgrading your outfit, upgrading your suit, and all the things that come with it. Because you can, if you start getting overwhelmed, you know, you can web out and like zip them all to the wall. You know, there's upgrades that you can go. So once you like stop sucking at it, it gets a lot more fun. And The Witcher's the same way. You know, like the beginning of The Witcher, I was horrible. Like everything was killing me because I was going at it from I was going at it, if you will, from like the zombies mind frame of just running up and killing everything.
Yeah.
Whereas these games take a little bit more finesse. You're not just smashing buttons.
So the first shirt that Andy Header got done was done by James Frazier. Or Frazier.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then the second one was done. I think it's the one we were talking about. He's from an actual developer studio. Alex Sanchez.
Oh, I've heard of that guy.
Yeah, he did the second shirt. The second shirt, it's him and his tag team partner on a Marvel comic, and it's like photorealism of them. And then in front of them is a bunch of different wrestlers that, like the back of their heads, like they're about to swarm the tag team. It looks pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, awesome. So, anything else you wanna talk about or cover or get out there to the people?
Oh no, just check out my art. Let me know what you think. You know, I'd love to hear from fans and make new fans. And I'm pretty approachable. You know, I try to be a decent person all across the board. So.
And you live, like I said, you live in the Harrisburg area. So if anything ever, when the Harrisburg Comic Con comes up, we'll shoot you a message. We'll come out and we'll hang out.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Like if you do decide to do that, let me know. I can get you guys in touch with the guys who run it, and I know they like to have podcasts at the conventions. You know, that's always good business, is having podcasts.
Yeah, absolutely. So real quick, I have the list here. So I have Tony. I'm gonna help me with the names a little bit here. Tony, is it Magny?
Yeah, Tony Magny helped us on issue 1 with the grayscaling.
Yep, and then Jake Scholl.
Yep. Lettering. He was the letterer.
Yep. Mark Scholl, the co-creator and scriptwriter.
Mark Scholl. Yep. Yep.
George Wayne. No, I'm sorry, Grogan Wayne. Sorry, Grogan Wayne, co-creator. And then
Yep.
Jason Seaux, the pencil and inks.
Yep.
And then Jeremy Ruby was the cover coloring.
Yeah, he's agreed to do all the color for issues 1 through 4 with me. So yep, Jeremy Ruby.
So the cover is the only thing that's going to be done in color, and the rest of the book will be black and white.
Well, okay, so issues 1 through 4 are going to be in black and white, and we only do that because of the money that's associated being a startup with color.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically twice the amount of black and white. So we are going to go to color, but we're just going to put it out as a trade collective. So it'll be issues 1 through 4 in color.
Okay. I'm going to be honest, sometimes I like the black and white. Like, it worked for Walking Dead, and they never got rid of it.
Well, it just tells a story. It forces the reader to use more of their mind instead of hitting them with the flash, because there's tricks you can use in coloring just to grab people and pull them in. Black and white forces your mind to live in that moment, like you're really pulling into the whole feel of it all. It's very gritty and noir, and it always feels like it's raining. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I absolutely love the Walking Dead comic. I thought it was done so well, and then I was like, oh, they're making it into a TV show. And then I start watching, I'm like, I hate this TV show because the book was so good. And they didn't, to me, I felt like some of the characters didn't translate over, and it kind of bummed me out. And then, like, all the people who became super fans of the show were like, Daryl's the best. I'm like, it's not even about Daryl. Fuck Daryl. I was like, stop it.
Well, that's always the distortion of fans, like where do you, and you can, that's a great place to tell, where the fans come from is, do they come from the show, or do they come from the comic books?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a real big change there when it comes to the fans.
Yeah, Andy said he remembers you, and he said he met you, and he said ask him if he remembers Hooked on Comics.
Of course I remember Hooked on Comics.
Yeah, that's where he said he remembers you from.
Yeah, I've done a few appearances at that store, because that's like, if you will, we have what I would consider home stores, right? Like, what's my home store? My home store is Comics World.
You there?
Comics.
Are you there? Oh, we lost you for a second. You said your home store is where?
Comics World in Chambersburg.
Oh, okay, cool.
And Grogan and Mark's home comic book shop is Hooked on Comics. So I know Mary and John quite well. They're great guys. They're great people.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to see if Andy wanted to join in, but he's unable to at the moment. I think he's still wrapping up at work. But yeah, well, I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll cut it here, unless we'll have all the links, put everything over, and I will put this out tomorrow because tonight we're going to go and do our podcast here. But if you're free, we're going to we start recording at 9:00. You can join us on the phone and kind of talk a little bit about and hype up your episode
tonight.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, let's do that.
And
let's do that.
We'll have everybody at the table. Andy will be at the table. My buddy Ben, who's a big comic book guy, and Bree will all be at the table. And then we can have you join in and call in, and we'll promote the episode, and then we'll drop the episode later on in the week. Sound good?
Yeah, and I'll send you all these links. I'll try to do that ASAP here. I'll send them all to you on Messenger.
Perfect. Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. And I'm actually kind of it's supposed to be for interviews, but I think it works better for not cool.
You know what? Sometimes I feel not cool, so it sounds perfect. Do you want me to? Are we just going to call on Facebook tonight?
Yeah, I'll do the same thing. Yep, I'll call you through Facebook.
Outstanding. Okay, well, I'll talk to you at 9 then.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, that'll do it here for Not Cool in High School's interview here with Jason Seaux, the artist of Necro-Man comics, and you can go check out his art on Facebook and buy some original prints and go from there. But thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for having me, man.